Welcome everyone to another episode of Get Tech Smart, and I am your host, Flo Nicholas. Today we have an exciting episode where we're going to learn everything about Spark Academy, an innovative high school which is located in Manchester Community College. So I'm just going to get right in it because we need to hear what's going on in Spark Academy and why you should consider sending your kids there. So I'm going to start right here with my friend Matt Long because, you know, we hang out in the same circles at the tech events. So it's funny, we went to a recent New Hampshire Tech Alliance breakfast, and we looked at each other, and I'm like, why haven't you been on my show? Right? Why? What's going on? So with you today, you brought a whole crew of Spark Academy guests. So if you can help me out and introduce everyone from Spark Academy today.
Sounds great. Yeah, so I'm Matt Long. I'm the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator. This is Joe Carter, a second-year student at Spark. John Tuttle is our director, and Dan Larochelle is our technical consultant, a teacher, and the chair of the Advanced Manufacturing Department at MCC.
Yeah, a lot of words there.
Yeah,
Big title.
He's got a big title.
Yeah, great. So we're going to just dive right in and learn more about Spark Academy. So John, I'm going to start with you first. If you can give us a little history about Spark Academy.
Actually, Dan's probably the best.
That's
Dan's
the best
the founder of
okay.
Spark. So kind of explaining the vision of how we kind of started it.
Sure. Back in 2017, I had someone come do a tour for a charter school, was looking to start a charter school in New Hampshire, a high-tech charter school. And they're like, what does this look like? I said, well, down in Mass, they're about $140 million. She's like, well, I don't have that much money. So she was like, okay. I said, have you ever thought about putting a charter school here at the community college? We have a lot of open labs, we have a lot of space, and that's where it clicked. And our president, Susan Heward, thought it was a good idea, and back in 2019, we started the school.
Wow, so this is a new baby.
It is. We'll be graduating our first fourth-year students this year, our first cohort.
Okay, so just break it down for us.
Yep.
How is Spark Academy different from any other charter schools, right? We know there are a lot of charter schools in New Hampshire. What sets you apart?
So again, it's a high-tech charter school. We focus really on developing the entire student. We have cohorts. So we have 2 cohorts of 15 students in each grade. And that cohort stays together the entire first 2 years of the program. So they take every class together. What we complete in almost 2 years is what a lot of schools complete in 3 or 4 years. It's an accelerated program to get kids ready to take high-tech classes at the community college.
Yeah, and John, I'm going to bring you in.
Yep.
Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of some of the courses?
So yeah, they as freshmen, they start with taking basic physical science classes and the regular things, but we introduce technology into it. So they actually take robotics and CAD, computer automated design, as freshmen.
Oh, wow.
So they do that and they earn college credit for it. And then their second year, they actually take manufacturing processes and electrical fundamentals. So we're starting to introduce technology to students earlier and getting them to help them find their path. So those 4 classes were specifically designed to give students the idea of 4 different paths that are different experiences in their education so that we can help figure out what their next step is.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is help them get their high school education, at the same time really learn about what it is that interests them, what excites them, and to learn through hands-on. It's not just sitting, listen to a teacher talk or doing books. It's experiencing it and seeing, do I really like this? A lot of students have ideas.
Yeah.
We ask the kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? Well, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but this is something that they want to look at. So let's try it. It's okay if you don't like it. You know you don't like something is just as important as what you like. So experiencing those things, trying those things, having those opportunities are a key piece.
Right.
So our students can take physical science and biology in their freshman year. So they go through 2 actual classes that would actually take them to their sophomore year in regular school. So we're accelerating the learning process.
Right.
We're helping kids understand those concepts, but it's hands-on experiences that make the difference.
Okay. Well, one of the things you mentioned is you get to ask the students what they like. So you guys brought a student. So yeah. Well, Joe, what is it that you like?
I personally like biotechnology. So especially in the Manchester area where there's a lot of technology fields that are doing like bio stuff. There's a bio 3D printer in the computer lab, not the computer lab, the 3D printing lab, which is pretty cool. And I also get to work with Mr. Long with an ELO to focus on career exploration. So, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you hear about Spark Academy, and what made you interested in going to school that seems to be more heavily focused on, the technical aspect of education?
Well, I was homeschooled, so how I grew up, I didn't go to like normal public schools, but the first school I ever went to was a charter school. It was the sister school of Spark. So I was in the community of this type of technology school.
Yeah.
I like technology. It's been a big focus of mine ever since I was a little kid, technology and biology, more than my parents have. They're more networking, which has helped me get into this school. It's helped me find it, but it was cool that what this school focused on happened to cater toward my needs and wants.
Right. Yeah. And what do you see yourself doing in the next probably like 5 years? Like what is the ideal career for you?
Well, I want to go through maybe some of the programs that like they're trying to hook kids up with some internships. So I would like to see what kinds I can go into, and then kind of create a baseline for a future career in biotechnology.
Oh, nice.
Through the college classes I'm taking that I would be finishing up.
That's great. And speaking about internships,
Sure.
let's talk about that a little bit, because you're kind of involved in the community engagement
Right.
For Spark Academy. So what does internship look like? What does that like real world experience look like for the students?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. It's spending time in a workplace, learning if you like something. More importantly, if you don't like something, to John's point. But basically, we look for companies and organizations that want to engage in workforce development and are looking to keep students in New Hampshire, especially in tech, especially in advanced manufacturing, because these internships are really valuable opportunities for students to buy into kind of the tech space in the state. So yeah, we're definitely looking for community partners who are interested in engaging in this work. And right now we have, as an example, we have a student who's working at an organization in their help desk department and is
nice.
learning not only the basics of IT, hardware, and software, but also those interpersonal skills that are really important for being successful in any job: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, self-direction, all of those things that we actually weave into these types of credit-bearing experiences that allow a student to progress through, not only through their academics, but also towards a career.
Yeah, and when are their internships? Are these usually like in the summertime, or are they along with their curriculum?
Yeah, great question. So as our students get into their 3rd and 4th years at Spark, most of them take a wide slate of early college courses. And so that means their schedules are more flexible than a typical high school student. So we might have them for morning high school classes, but then in the afternoon they have freedom because they have a college class on Wednesday at 5 p.m. or just Thursdays at 1. And so they'll have flexible time within their actual school day, which can help companies in actually bringing high schoolers into the work day.
Yeah. So who wants to take this question? Why a focus and emphasis on the manufacturing industry? What is going on in the manufacturing industry right now?
Yeah, so this is a tricky one because, manufacturing is 11% of our revenue for the state, and we don't have enough workers, and there's not enough people going into this field. I have employers that are paying very big salaries for these high-tech needs. The problem is like everyone's, it's advanced, I can't do it. It's manufacturing, I don't want to do it.
Right.
So you got to change the script a little bit, and I think introducing students to it at a younger age, then they can see the future of, oh, I could be a machinist, I could be a PLC programmer, I can be anything that I want to be, but I really want to be a problem solver. So
Right.
Spark really kind of touches a lot of the mechanical, the electrical, the programming, and then how do you solve the problem, right? And again, our workforce is in dire need of a lot of our gray-haired population retiring.
Right.
And I see it after manufacturer after manufacturer after manufacturer. And now we're doing, my whole program at the college started as a retraining program about 8 years ago. And now we have pathways that 1-year certificates, 2-year degrees, and then pathways to 4-year schools. So we want to try and make sure that we have enough opportunity to get people to try things. And then maybe I'm good at programming, maybe I'm good at this. And again, give them the opportunity to find a career that would fit them best.
Right. And on your website, I saw that it says like dual enrollment.
Yeah.
So let's kind of clarify that for parents. Because I know there's some parents who probably have their students just, taking, just regular high school classes. But I'm seeing, just speaking with other educators and coaches that work with students, this push for students to start taking college credit classes early to kind of get ahead of the game before they get to college. So just interested in that.
It does a couple of different things. So a lot of kids sometimes go, college is not for me. And they don't really know what college is. And so that becomes part of it. The dual enrollment is for kids to know that they can do it. And in high school, kids are open to trying a lot of different things. So having that opportunity to try something and go, oh, this isn't that bad.
Right.
Or I can do this. Going on college campuses can be scary for kids. We're on that campus so they get comfortable with it. And now we go to the students and going, you're a college student. You're at this campus. It's changing the mindset. It's helping them understand it. So dual enrollments classes are an incredible opportunity for people to experience things, build their knowledge, help them realize that there's not really much of a difference between a high school class and a college class.
Right.
It's a closer gap than what they think. And so helping them feel that success and see that is a key part. So when you're looking at these opportunities, that's what you want. You want to help your child or your student help figure out what it is they want to do and build on successes.
Yeah, no, that's very true. But let's talk about technology, right? What's going on right now. The manufacturing industry of today is not the manufacturing industry of 20 to 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many like emerging technologies on the market now, right? We got the artificial intelligence and now with the AI, we have the, oh my God, it's too much. And, letters being written to say we need to put a pause and stop with the AI. How do you guys work collectively to educate students on all this emergent technology that is coming out at a fast speed?
Well, one of the things that we do is we have a lot of industry partners that help us figure out like what's needed. And that's the job of the community college is to kind of figure out what those needs are.
Right.
And then we can translate that back into a lot of the classes that we offer with Spark and a lot of the ELO programs that we have. One of the big ones in Manchester is ARMI, the Advanced Regenerative Manufacturing Institute. Well, I'm on their workforce development committee, and we are trying to see how this emerges. What does it look like? What are the skill sets? And again, technicians are going to be critical to any of these industries that come through, and those are great opportunities for a lot of the Spark students coming right out of high school. And again, 3D printing, any kind of programming whatsoever. The biggest thing though is problem solving.
Right.
Okay, I focus on a thing called mechatronics, which is a mechanical electrical system that you program to control a process. It sounds complicated, but it's really how manufacturing and a lot of stuff works. How does my program tie to biofabrication? Well, when you take cells and you want to mass produce them, you need automation.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, I can't do robots, that's too hard. Well, you program it to go here, and then you write a program to go from here to here. It's really that simple. So again, my goal is to demystify a lot of this high-tech stuff, break it down into fundamental skills, teach those skills, and then build the skills on top. And that's what we've done in Spark Academy is we took my advanced manufacturing, my mechatronics certificate, and we put it in the high school.
Okay.
And that's important, right?
Yeah. So will they be getting a certification? Because I kind of heard mention of certification. So are they graduating and able to get certifications in some of the things that they're learning?
Yes. So we have a couple pathways. Right now we have mechatronics and we have robotics. And if they follow the sequence and they stay in advanced manufacturing, they can get a certificate in robotics or mechatronics. And we actually have kids graduating this year, 8 or 9 of them, that are going to graduate with an associate's degree in advanced manufacturing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, so what are some of the things that, are you learning how to code right now?
Right now I'm doing electrical fundamentals. So
Okay.
we're working with a trainer board to learn stuff like how to use a multimeter, how to set up all these kinds of circuits. It's very hands-on. We each have our own kit. We work with it, we do many labs and have to do reports on them. Pretty fun. And then, so that isn't really coding. That's more like the hands-on, like physical stuff. But last year I did both CAD and robotics, which we used block coding with Vex Robotics. And then in manufacturing processes, we learned to code some robots.
Yeah. What type of skills do you feel like you're learning right now? Because you guys are doing quite a lot. What type of skills are you gaining right now?
Well, besides the ability to like understand and do some problem solving in stuff like electrical fundamentals, we also have a lot of programs to help with leadership. So I did a leader program that is very new, yeah. Sorry,
No, that's
like
great.
that.
That's great. I mean, you're learning quite a bit, right? Because it's not just being, a problem solver, but at some point, right, you want to grow in the ranks in your career. So, learning, leadership skills early and what it actually means to be a good leader, I think is fantastic incorporation into the program. And in terms of tech right now, one of the things that we constantly see, unfortunately, having been somebody in tech, is really not a lot of women and other underrepresented professionals. How is the academy really working to kind of, like, to your point, hey, we don't want this to seem like it's an untouchable career. Anyone, no matter who you are, is just putting in some time, some learning, and this is a career that can be for you. So what is the messaging out there to get more students to feel like, hey, I might not be like really great in math, because that's one of the things that comes up. People are like, ooh, technology, math, not me. How do you kind of, break down those myths and barriers that might be there for other people?
It's the mindset and it's the ability to learn. Everyone can learn. Everyone has the ability to learn and try.
Yeah.
That's the part is, don't be afraid of failure. Failure is how you learn. So you never learn from being successful with everything. So you want to have that failure. And a lot of people have that fear of failing. And it might be, we just didn't teach it the right way. We haven't got the right way for you to understand it. And we take the time to break that down. Small cohorts helps that. It's really changing that I am a student, I can do this, and I'm a leader. And that's an important part. We look at the whole child, the whole student, and look at how do we help them and where do they need to go. Our goal is to challenge them. You got some kids that go through school and it's really easy. It's more the social aspect that they got to work on. Some kids, it's the other way around. It's understanding the student and how that works. The great part about the cohort model is the students help each other. So it's not just the teacher talks and everyone listens. It's kids talking to each other, kids teaching each other, kids doing that. So they're learning multiple steps in the process.
Right.
And when you help somebody, it builds your self-confidence. And when someone else is helping you, it's a little bit different as well. It's not the teacher, it's not the adult. So it's a peer. That's an important piece of that. So it's that mindset and that confidence to know we can help anyone do it. Dan has said, I can teach anyone how to program. We expect that you know nothing. And we can go ahead and do that. This is all doable. If you like playing with robots, Legos, math, science, and that's something you're interested in, we can help you get there. You got to put some work in it, but it's all achievable.
Yeah. And Matt, what's your take?
Yeah, and I think something that I don't know if we've articulated, but we are a chartered public high school, so we are tuition free. So when we think about the traditional barriers to high quality technical education, that's a big one,
Yeah.
right? I think the other thing is when we talk about that cohort model and the fact that our school is, at any time will not be bigger than 120 students, we see that sense of belonging is so important for keeping students who are traditionally underrepresented in STEM and technology fields to retain them through graduation and to post-secondary education or through a career that is in technology. So I think those kinds of things really help kind of bring students that we want all students into the school.
Right.
So, and then the other thing that I think we'd love to mention is that we have on Wednesdays, every Wednesday is an exploration day. So no classes. We do something new every Wednesday that's focused on science, technology, humanities. That's all designed by our teachers. And so when we build those social skills during our exploration day programming, that is another thing that keeps our students interested, is mixing it up and incorporating those real world applications.
Wow. So what are some of the things you've been able to do on No Class Wednesday?
So tomorrow, my class is actually we're going to the waterfront. We're going to see we're going to do some chemistry.
Oh, wow.
We're going to see a lab that was done by our chemistry teacher. One Wednesday we had a math Wednesday where the teacher organized a whole math and art program.
Wow.
Where we went and we were playing with like Fibonacci sequences and incorporating those kind of art skills and math, which is fun. We did Humanities Day where we made a bunch of skits and we compiled them all together and they were historical. We were making our own endings up. It was pretty fun. So we do a lot of team building skills. We have a lot of our outdoor sessions outside with all the different cohorts. So it's a time to kind of intermingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So almost kind of similar to the episode I had with Kokori, where they mentioned the experiential learning, just doing kind of I see a lot of going away from the traditional
Right.
book, take a test, multiple choice, memorize, and then next week I don't remember what I learned. So how are you guys really kind of stepping up in terms of really just having that kind of outside the box model, and how you think that the hands-on and real-world experience really makes a huge difference? I want to start with you, Dan.
Sure. Well, one of the things that kind of ties everything together is our Humanities Program. Okay, our Humanities Program really it's unlike most other schools. It ties in all of our English classes, all of our social sciences, our gym class, our art class, and we kind of couple that all together. So when you're writing a paper, it's about something you care about. It's not this one, you're not in English class for a year, right? And you're just doing English. We're mixing English and math and science and technology, and we're really trying to round out the skill set of that student with our Humanities Program. So that's important to us, and I wanted to make sure that got mentioned.
Yeah, no, that's different.
Yeah, it
right?
is very different.
And
It's out of the box. It's really thinking outside of the box because a lot of people get paradigmed where I'm in this path, and I can't cross.
Yeah.
Well, we try, and our math program's pretty innovative too. People can accelerate through math at their own pace. Some people will start in algebra and they'll do geometry in their first year
Wow.
at Spark. Some people will be in algebra the whole year. It's their pace. It's their schedule. The best thing about Spark is you own your education. I tell all of them, all the students that, this is your plan. This is your pathway. What does it look like? The first 2 years we have pretty well scripted, but after that in year 3, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah.
You wanna stay in engineering, great. You wanna stay in manufacturing, great. Cybersecurity, HVAC, graphic design. There's a lot of pathways that we can do. But again, it's really kind of modeling it after what the student wants to do and what kind of careers they want to explore.
Yeah, and I think that's a great technique, right? Because it really allows them to make that decision. Because at the end of the day, when they graduate, they're the ones that got to go to college. They're the ones that got to go to those careers. So it's like, you know, if you're trying to be like, hey, no, you're going to be a doctor. You know, what is the success rate of someone who feels the pressure to do something that they don't want to do?
Right.
Right. And so it's having that ability to say, you know, this is what I want to do and make that choice. And because now you're doing, like you said, you're doing things and there's more passion.
Yep.
And with passion, there's more commitment to want to do your best. Now, just to jump on what you just mentioned, you said there's some kids that might do the algebra and the geometry.
Yeah.
So are you, I can't remember what the program is
Alex?
called. There was a program when I lived in Colorado Springs. I think it was like International Baccalaureate program, kind of off where if they see certain students that are excelling in a specific subject, then they would kind of move them up to the next level. Is that almost kind of similar where like, hey, you're doing great, you just really, wow, you know your algebra, you're fantastic. We
Right.
got to move you to the next level of math. Is that kind of how you guys are assessing the students?
Yeah, so we use a program called Alex, and that's
Okay.
how we start a lot of them, and it's competency based. So if you had 2 years of algebra in middle school and you're done with algebra, you can literally test out of algebra and then go right to geometry. And again, so we have people that are accelerating through their math at their level. The biggest thing that we see also is there's a lot of gaps in people's math skills. So when they say that I'm bad at math, it's not true. You're probably bad at adding and subtracting fractions. And that one skill, not taught well in 4th grade,
Yeah.
bounces. Can't do exponents, can't do certain algebraic expressions if you can't add and subtract fractions. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's simple things like that, is finding the gaps in their knowledge, especially in math, to build that foundation so we can now build geometry, algebra 2. And you know, we have some students that in high school are taking Calc 1, Calc 2, and doing some pretty amazing things
Wow.
because they have access to it.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, my problem in chemistry was those equations.
Me too.
So I wanted to go to medical school, but then I thought, chemistry? Oh man, I don't know if I can make it. So I like that approach. Is a great point that you make, is like, I might not be able to do math, but it might be just like one component of it that if I just have that little extra help, will really help me, become, go into calculus AP, So that's a great technique. So what is, I guess, your mission and your role in terms of helping Spark Academy and just really amplify and put a spotlight?
Yeah, great question. So I think I'm in the community a lot. My role is the Extended Learning Opportunities Coordinator. So what I would do is I work with students to build them individualized learning experiences that award credit to any learning that happens outside the traditional classroom setting. So that could be an internship, that can be a career exploration experience like Jo is doing, where she's working through assignments to understand what are workplace norms and ethics and values that will be helpful in any career, but then kind of zeroing in on what a pathway could look like. This could be a project-based learning experience where a student explores a real-world essential question that produces a community-facing product, or it could be advanced coursework in a specific topic. So that's my role in how I work with students. And then, as I face the business and industry community, I try to, work with companies to help them understand that investing in a student by hosting an internship or a job shadow or an informational interview is investing in their workforce,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what we're trying to do at Spark, is build the manufacturing workforce and build that advanced technology workforce. And so, when I'm out there in the community, that's kind of my message, is trying to bring industry to the table to say, this is kind of how we want to work with our students to get them into your workplaces.
And that's a message that makes sense, right?
Right.
We hear a lot here in New Hampshire. We don't have a strong workforce. We struggle to, get people to stay, and we struggle to get people from, across the border to come.
Right.
But it's what you guys are doing. Are like, hey, we have a little incubator of students that we're
Right.
brewing for you guys. They're the future of your company. So it makes sense
Sure.
that companies will want to invest in internships. Now, there's internships and there's also apprenticeship programs. Do you guys kind of do both, or?
Yeah, so we work with Apprenticeship New Hampshire.
Oh, good.
So there's pre-apprenticeship programs where students
Right.
can earn extended learning opportunity credit through working with me and that industry partner to kind of get them on the path towards joining that registered apprenticeship after Spark.
Okay, good. Shout out to Apprenticeship
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
we love you guys.
So,
Yeah.
fantastic. No, I mean that program makes sense. It's kind of like, the kids can, be reading the books and taking the tests, but that real world experience, is huge, right? And I feel like this new approach of education is really better preparing the students to be more viable candidates when they're applying for roles. Because the stuff that you guys are doing, I say, put that on your resume. Hey, I created this and I created that. That's work that you've put in, especially the internships and the apprenticeship that you have on there. I always say, put that on your resume, because that's huge. So what else would you like people to know about Spark Academy that we haven't covered? And I'm going to start with Dan to have him kick that off.
Again, I think it's a really good opportunity. You know what I mean? And it's something that, come to an open house. Come see the school, touch it, feel it, kick the tires, talk to the students, and don't be afraid of like, oh, I can't do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. And, going back to the apprenticeships, it's like, that's a great opportunity for the employer to get to know the student and the student to get to know the employer.
Yes.
And make those bonds while they're in high school, because in manufacturing, a lot of people are self-grown. So you'll see people that are presidents of the company that used to be an operator 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So that's really what manufacturing looks like in New Hampshire, is a lot of self-building. Well, we want to increase that pipeline on the bottom side as much as we can, and really touch as many employers as we can. And that's why Matt's job is so important.
Yeah, no, it is.
No pressure.
It is. And John, what about you?
I think it's important for people to know that as Spark Academy, we focus on the whole child, but we're creating those so they have a voice. And that's the one thing that I think high school students don't always feel comfortable with, is that they have a voice. So giving them a voice, helping them dictate what that path is for them so that they can build that confidence. It's doing those things. A lot of industries don't look at high school students as having those things. The students at Spark, they've taken SolidWorks training and they've got certified in that. They've done CAD class, they've done robotics. These are not your typical high school students. They've taken college classes, they've done these things. So it's starting things a little bit sooner for these kids that can do it. And so they have a voice, they have opinions, they have ideas, and that's an important part.
It's a huge part, and we can't sleep on the younger generation, because some of them are making millions of dollars and they haven't graduated, high school or college. I mean, just look at TikTok. Although that might not be around for too long, who knows? But you bring up a good point, is that, where we shouldn't take advantage, or I should probably word that another way. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? We look at the students now and just think, oh, you don't know this and you don't know that. But the way you guys have essentially structured this curriculum is these kids are way more advanced than, when I was in high school, just watching soap operas half the time. You guys are out here working on just really state-of-the-art emerging technology, and that's the future. right? In the manufacturing industry, they're starting to play with various emerging technology, using artificial intelligence is a great example. You know, increase in automation. You know, having the machines actually test themselves and say, hey, I'm gonna be broken, and you need to fix part A, B, C, D. You know, there's all this technology that's coming out, and you know what else is happening? The job descriptions are changing.
Yes.
They want people who have experience working with technology. So someone like Joe, right away, you are a viable candidate for a lot of employers because of the skills that you're currently learning, and you haven't even graduated high school, so you're a step ahead. So what is your message to other students that are watching?
Well, I personally am super in love with the community of Spark. I feel like I've been able to grow a lot as a person, like soft skills. I am in the student council, and I have really tight knit group of friends in my cohort. We've helped each other a lot. I'm in the drone team, which is a program we've started, like a robotics thing.
Wow.
That's pretty fun. So I've been able to grow a lot in that community, and it feels really special to be a part of it.
You hear
So-
this, guys? That is a great message. And there's nothing that warms my heart by seeing young ladies that are really excited about technology. So kudos to you guys, because you guys do an incredible job. And any last words, my friend?
Yeah, I think just kind of similar to what these folks have said. You know, we want any student to come join us if they're interested in advanced technology. You know, we will help you out. This is a high school where we are training you to be in the real world. We have a comprehensive school counseling program. We have leadership programs to build students' confidence and build those soft skills, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we want our students, our families, our industry, all of our folks kind of working towards the same mission, and we have that. So if you're interested in learning more, whether you're a student, family, industry, anyone else, get in touch.
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much, guys, for stopping by the studio today to talk about all the phenomenal things going on at Spark Academy. You know, for me, education is really important, and giving students that kind of alternative exploration when it comes to technology and innovation, I think is really critical, because as we all mentioned, tech is the future. It's happening, whether we like it or not, and preparing our future leaders, like Joe right here, our students, is really critical. So the work that's being done at Spark Academy is essential, especially in terms of our workforce development right here in our state of New Hampshire. So thank you again for stopping by the studio. And to everyone else, thank you for watching another episode of Get Tech Smart. Stay tuned for more episodes.